everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. I had gotten multiple requests on how I set up and use this worksheet, this bill tracker. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys because I have to update this sheet because this one is all filled up. But if you guys are wanting to know how I have this set up, then keep on watching. So when you get your bill tracker, so if you've purchased this from me, I have an Etsy shop where this is all available, all of my worksheets, but it comes up completely blank except for these words here. And what you'll do is you'll go through your calendar, which this is where I list out on my calendar view all of the bills that are due and what dates. So I just transfer that information to my bill tracker along with the amount that is due. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my calendar off to the side so that you all can kind of follow along with what I'm working with. So on my bill tracker, how I like to break things down is I'll look at the amount due and how many paychecks I have until I can complete the total due. So I'll take the amount that's due. So something that's pretty easy is, let's just say this internet bill. It is due on the 10th. I will figure out when do I want to start pulling funds to pay this item. So when I started setting aside funds was on the 21st of November. I set aside $35 and then I set aside $17.50 on the 27th, which was the next payday. And a couple days later, I set aside $17.49, and that actually completed the payment. So I should have highlighted it, but I did so on all of these other ones. I just forgot to do that up here. So I like to just mark it off that way, knowing that I have completed that payment. So like I did here for my water bill. So now that this is all filled up, I have to continue on tracking on this worksheet. And I've already done a few of the bills that are going to be completed on the 13th paycheck. So now, since I'm going to go ahead and fill this out, I figured I'd film it so that you guys can kind of see how all of this works. So we're going to start with the top one, which is the Disney Pass. I have this that's due on the 2nd. So I have already paid that for the month of for the month of December. So now this is the bill that's due for January. I now am getting paid 4 times in a month, pretty much. So bi-weekly and also bi-monthly. So I listed out already up at the top the dates that I am going to get paid. And I've also marked it off here on my calendar. So the 13th, we receive a paycheck. On the 26th, we'll receive a paycheck. On the 31st, and then continuing on into January. So clearly, since the next pay is not until the 9th of January, I have to complete this payment having the funds set aside in my account by the 31st. So we can start separating it either by 2 or by 3. So it all depends. For this, because it's such a small amount, I'm going to go ahead and just divide it by 2. So I'm going to get my calculator out. And this is pretty much what I've done each month. So I'll take the $63.52 and I'm going to divide it by 2. So for the 13th, I am not setting anything aside for this. But on the 26th, I will set aside $31.76. And I will also do the same thing on the 31st. So that way it will complete the payment having the total amount set aside in my account to pay this bill. And then I won't have to set aside for these pays. And the same thing goes for these subscriptions. So because it's only 99 cents, I'm just going to set it aside so that it'll be due on the 7th. So 99 cents, I will make sure to leave that in my account, and also the $14.99. All right. And now the ID theft, this is due on the 9th, and that is one of my paydays. So for this one, I'm just going to set it aside and make sure that I just pay it on the due date, because that is also an auto draft. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put dashes through here. I'm leaving this one blank because I haven't looked at the calendar far enough to know, you know, I might have to set aside funds for these ones. I probably shouldn't have made a dash there, but that's okay. That's what whiteout is for. So now we're going to go ahead and continue doing that for all of these. So I'll continue showing you how I do this. For Spectrum, I've already paid this for the month of December. I just have to set it aside for January. So $69.99. For this one, I think it's okay to separate this into 2 paychecks, divide it up into 2. So the 10th, I can start setting aside on the 31st. So by the 9th, I should have the complete amount set aside. So we're going to take the $69.99 and we're going to just divide that by 2. So for the first time, we can set aside $34.99, $69.99 minus $34.99. So $35 will be deducted on the 9th pay. So if you're gotten this far and you understand kind of how this process works, then say I got it in the comments down below so that I know that you guys get this. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to this one, which is ADT. $63.42 is the total due. This one has been paid for the month of December already, so we're going to plan for January. $63.42 divided by 2 is $31.71. So we're going to find out when we have to have this money by. So for the 9th, we have to have the total amount set aside. So on the 31st, we're going to start setting aside the funds. Okay? And now the water bill. The water bill, I did receive what the total water bill is going to be for January. So it's going to be $106.21. So because this is a larger amount, we're going to divide this by 4. So $106.21 divided by 4, it's $26.55. So by the 11th, so right here is the last day that we're going to set money aside. So all of these 4, we're going to set money aside for the water bill. So what I say, $26.55, $26.55, $26.55. So $26.56 is going to be the last amount that we're going to set aside to complete the water bill. So now this $210.77, that's my car insurance. As you can see here, this is the last time that I'm going to set money aside to complete December's payment because it's due on the 15th. So now we still have to plan on how to pay it for January the 15th. So we're going to do the same thing, $210.77, and we're going to divide that by 4. $52.69 is what we're going to set aside for each of these. $52.69, $52.69. So $52.70 is going to be the amount that I'm going to set aside to complete January's due date. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight this so that this part doesn't seem too confusing. So that's complete. This is complete. So hopefully you guys understand that now. And the same thing here. We're going to set aside 10 and 10. Okay. the card that's due by the 16th. So we're gonna do 67 divided by 2. So $33.50 is what we're setting aside for this credit card. $12.70, that's due on the 18th. This is actually needs to be due for December. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I hadn't set aside for December. So let me do whiteout. And the same thing with the ministry one. Dear Lord. See, this is what happens when you budget. So I'm going to set aside $20 here to complete December and the full 67 here for December. So these ones are completed. Okay. And now this is completed for January. Okay. So this is December and this one is for January. And now life insurance for December, it's due on the 18th. So I have to pay this by this date. And then I'm also going to set it aside right here. Okay? So that completes that payment. Disney Plus, that's due on the 20th. So again, my next pay is not until the 26th. So that means I have to prepare for that before the due date. And the same thing goes over here. Okay. Oop, I skipped over the phone. So this is completing December's payment. And now I have to make sure that I am prepared for January. So my phone bill is $96.17. And I'm going to divide that by 4. So $24.04 is what we're going to be setting aside. $24.04. $24.04. So $24.05 is going to be the last payment there. And now moving on to this electric bill. So for last month, my electric bill was $70. Or for this month, I'm sorry. I'm in December. So for December, my electric bill came out to be $70.39. But I like to plan for the following month a little bit higher just in case. So I have not made my January budget, so I honestly don't know what my husband and I are going to agree on. All I know is that we typically like to budget a little bit higher and set a little bit more aside for these bills that we are not sure of. So for January, we're just going to say, okay, what if it's $100? Okay, which it probably isn't going to be, but what if it is? So we've already completed the electric payment on the 12th. Let me just show you this so you see. So on the 12th, we've already completed that payment. And typically the amount that's due is on the 20th or around the 20th, 23rd. So we're going to say it's due on the 23rd. So 100, we're going to divide that by 4, right? So $25, easy enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll start setting money aside on the 31st. Okay? Yes, because we've already set the money aside and completed it on the 12th. And then I'm just going to leave these two blank because I don't know what January's bill is going to be like. And then the same thing goes for the 1778. I'm just going to write it down right on the due date. And then I'm just going to leave this blank because I don't have the calendar in front of me. So this is how I complete my bill tracker and how I look at this every time when I get paid and how we use this to do our paycheck budget. So this is really helpful. And now that I have this part laid out, I can go ahead and put it back in my planner so that I am prepared when we are going to be filling in our paycheck budgets. So if you guys understood this, if you think that this is helpful, give this video a thumbs up. Leave your questions if you have any questions for me in the comments. I'll be sure to answer anything that I can. And yeah, that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that it answered some of your questions. And I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye, guys.